Browns at Ravens. Open Ravens -6.5. Now mostly -5.5. Some 5s. Browns 2-5 on the road, but a nice season. 7-7-1. Ravens 5-2 at home and looking good. If the Ravens win, they'll be in the playoffs and win the AFC North. Browns have gone 5-2 since firing Hugh Jackson and Todd Haley. Remember this game the last time these two played, 12-9 in overtime, but that was two completely different football clubs, especially Joe Flacco being behind center for the Ravens, throwing the ball 56 times, 5.3 yards an attempt. We won't see that. We talked a little bit early on this show about Denzel Ward having a concussion, being out for week 17, and how his absence may not matter that much because Lamar Jackson renders the team's wideouts useless. Whale Capper, why don't we start out with you? Browns at Ravens.
And this one is one that you want to watch, not just for this week, not just for the way that the importance of this one as far as shaping the AFC this year, but really shaping the AFC North for years to come. I mean, we get the chance to see Lamar Jackson and Baker Mayfield start out what will likely be a very interesting long-term rivalry. And I completely understand everyone out there who grabbed a great-looking number with the Browns earlier in the week. I think it's bet down to, 6-ish or so. 6.5. If you got a 6.5 in your pocket or a 7, you are really looking good in this one. The Browns continue to take early money, and if you kind of caught that trend and have been capturing that closing line value just by backing the Browns, then you're doing darn well over the last half of this season. This is probably another game where it sets up where they're going to be very competitive. My strongest angle on this one is going to be the under. Give me the under here all day long. This is by far the toughest defense that the Browns have had to face in their stretch of success over the last half of this season. I don't think they match up particularly well against the Ravens defense. What they like to do, they're going to, Mayfield is going to have a really tough time finding open receivers. He's going to have to get through his progressions extremely quickly to avoid the pass rush. Where the Ravens are coming at you around the edges is where the Cleveland offensive line is especially susceptible. They're great up the middle, but they can be beat on the edge. And I think that the Ravens defense is going to get after him big time and make it a very uncomfortable day for him in the pocket. So the question is, can Baker Mayfield complete passes on the run out of the pocket into coverage? I'm going to bet no on that. And in doing so, the under makes a perfect play to me because I think Ravens can do a nice job of controlling the ball, running the ball well. Browns are, susceptible to the rushing attack. Lamar Jackson is doing this beautiful thing where he's running 3 yards of running attempt, and then he'll finally find his opening and rip off a 50-yarder. It's cool to watch. It's different. He ought to be getting more consideration for Rookie of the Year, in my opinion, because he's not doing the traditional passing attack. People are kind of, under appreciating what we've seen out of him coming in and kind of rescuing this Ravens team that was looking, like they were going to be eliminated relatively early from the playoff race, to then kind of capturing the AFC North is just, awesome. I hope for his sake and for the sake of Ravens fans that they don't choke on this one like we saw them choke in week 17 last year. That cost me some coin, man. I had some huge propositions on Ravens to make the playoffs when they were not expected to last year, and them choking against the Bengals in week 17 is still kind of a bad taste in my mouth. But under here, I think it's a strong play. I feel like this one ends in the 17-16, 17-14 range with the Ravens squeaking out a win.
Wow, I like that breakdown quite a bit. Dan Kelly joining us has had an exceptional read on these Browns this year. He's had these Browns on the money line in big dog situations, big home dog situations. He says Cleveland preparing for this game like it is the Super Bowl, a massive effort to finish the season with the win. This is an atypical, meaningless game. Tee times in Florida for Monday are not tolerated. He's on the Browns money line. Very interesting. Donnie Wrightside, I can't wait to hear your breakdown on this spot. Browns at Ravens.
Yeah. A lot of Baker Mayfield love, and rightfully, look, they have 7 wins. Say it again. The Cleveland Browns actually have 7 wins and could end the season with a winning year. That is outrageous to even think about. Shows you how poor of a football coach that Hugh Jackson was and how much talent they actually have on that team. But we're looking at some interesting spots here, especially with numbers. We talked about it last week, Jimmy, the past couple weeks. Where do you like those Baltimore Ravens? You like them being the underdog, the slimy underdog, getting 3, 4, 5, or 6 just to hang around in ball games. They showed they can do that. And then you want them covering the double digits because they showed they have, but sort of doing it in different ways. Special teams touchdown, a defensive touchdown. Depending on what line you got versus Tampa Bay when they played them at home in the rain, you probably didn't get that cover, but they won by 8 and won by more than a touchdown. Which brings me to my next point here when we're looking at the Cleveland Browns. I love what the Cleveland Browns are doing, but can we just take a step back and actually view what they're actually doing? If we look on the season-long total, the last time they played Baltimore, 10-7, 10-7 was the date, but 12-9 is the final. When we talk about leveling up in competition, because the Baltimore Ravens are an elite football team, playing with some of the best defense you're going to see and opportunistic on offense. They played the Chargers and got slaughtered. They played the Pittsburgh Steelers, got slaughtered. They played the Kansas City Chiefs, they got slaughtered. They played the Houston Texans, and they got slaughtered. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, we beat Atlanta at home, a dome team. Cincinnati falling apart. Carolina with a one-armed quarterback. Denver can't get out of their way. And then Cincinnati again. Wins are wins in the NFL. I understand that. But when rubber meets the road and you got some massive resistance on the road against a team that knows their fans frothing at the mouth, they can't wait to get out there, win, and we're in. There's something to be said about that team versus a team that's saying, let's get fired up. Hey, this team left Cleveland. Now we can go beat. There's nothing to that in the locker room. They're professionals. These kids weren't even born when these teams are moving back and forth on teams. They don't give a damn about that. It's the Ravens or nobody in this game. I think the Ravens can win this by a touchdown or more. I think they'll be geeked up and geared up in this one. But credit the Browns for the season that they've had. But every time they've leveled up, they've gotten rocked by a good defense.
What do you think of Whale Capper's read on the total, liking the under?
Yeah, look, if I'm going to play the Baltimore Ravens, nothing about the Ravens has me feeling really good about an over regardless of the number. What do they want to do? Shut you down on defense. What do they want to do on offense? Pick up first downs as opposed to scoring touchdowns. That's a stone-cold under type line. But you also need an offense like the Cleveland Browns who have the capacity to move the football because contrary to popular belief, 3 and outs are not very good for the over-under because you punt within a minute and a half and the other team's getting good field position. Baker Mayfield's good enough to move the football downfield, but that staunch Ravens defense isn't just going to let you go, hey, we're at the 50-yard line. They're going to put the clamps on you and hope that you punt it down deep. They always play to the under for me. So I'm never looking to take an over with the Baltimore Ravens.
I love this breakdown. Love this breakdown quite a bit. A lot of people liking the Ravens here. Matt Meadows says Ravens won't go down that Bengals road like last year. This is a different team with new systems in place. Win and get a home playoff game and win the AFC North. And Ray Lewis will be there. A lot of people liking this Ravens team. But
Ray Lewis.
But Dan Kelly's not alone. Roger says, what up, guys? Mayfield torching the Ravens, baby. And Pitt gets in, and me and Jimmy the Bag get to go to Spearmint Rhino for drinks and lap dances. That sounds pretty good to me, Roger. And Dan Kelly says, oh, my God, I love it when everyone is vehemently on the other side of me. I might have to double down. Absolutely love that. Great breakdown, guys.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.